Hey everybody, I'm Eli Gerber from the policy team here at Indivisible. Thanks for tuning in to the 5th episode of our web series, COVID Corruption, the web series where I've got the best hair and makeup team in the business. It's me. I'm the hair and makeup team. We hope you learned a lot from episode 4 about how Trump is using the outbreak to launch some of his most vicious attacks yet on immigrant communities. Today, we'll take a look at how Republicans want to insulate corporations that are making people sick from any responsibility for their actions. So let's dive into episode 5 on corporate immunity. The coronavirus outbreak has reached into every community and nearly every industry in the country. But the industries with the biggest outbreaks have fallen overwhelmingly into two categories: nursing homes and meatpacking plants. But despite obvious failures by for-profit corporations in keeping people safe in both of those settings, Republicans want to make sure those corporations can never be held meaningfully accountable for the death and illness that happened on their watch. People have been dying in devastating numbers in nursing homes since the outbreak began. As many as 1/3 of all of the coronavirus deaths nationwide have happened in nursing homes. That's at least in part because Trump has been working to weaken nursing home infection control regulations. Last summer, his health officials began pushing through a plan meant to weaken regulations that are supposed to prevent this exact kind of scenario from playing out. And even before the coronavirus pandemic, nursing homes had successfully insulated themselves from legal liability by forcing patients to sign what are known as forced arbitration clauses. These clauses force patients who have been injured, neglected, or even killed by negligent nursing home staff out of court and into a secretive arbitration process where claims and judgments are kept confidential and where it is extremely difficult for injured people to prevail. During the Obama administration, those kinds of arbitration clauses were banned in nursing home contracts. But unsurprisingly, Trump rolled back those bans. And the industry is at fault here too. Private equity companies that own nursing homes have been wringing profits out of them by cutting staffing to the bone, while violating tons of federal rules meant to protect people. This focus on profits over patients isn't unique to the nursing home industry, but it is especially dangerous given how deadly the coronavirus is for older people. But here's the thing: Mitch McConnell wants to protect those nursing homes and their private equity owners, even more than they already are, from being sued by the families of people who die of coronavirus due to those terrible lapses in health and safety. Just listen to him at this press conference in May, at the same time the House was working on legislation to protect people's health and economic security.
There will not be a bill that passes the Senate that does not have in it liability protections.
Think about that. Tens of millions of people are unemployed, and expanded unemployment insurance expires at the end of July. There have been more new infections happening than ever in many places in the country, and Mitch McConnell's only red line is making sure that corporations like Life Care Centers of America, where there have been over 2,000 cases and 250 deaths among residents and workers, can't be held accountable by families for the breakdowns in safety protocols that happened at least 10 of their facilities. And this corporate get out of jail free card would apply to all businesses, not just nursing homes. That means other bad actors would get off the hook for putting people in danger too. Take meatpacking plants, for example. Listen to this worker from a plant in South Dakota talk about why it is so dangerous inside of these plants.
I started getting really super concerned when a person on my line was diagnosed with COVID-19.
The worker says this is a picture of the cafeteria, outfitted with cardboard dividers and yellow tape for social distancing. But the employee tells us that is nearly impossible.
There's people standing in line outside, there's people inside in the locker room, people walking down the hallway, and there's no way of being 6 feet apart.
That Smithfield plant was actually the single largest source of coronavirus cases in the entire country in mid-April when that segment was filmed. Over 1,000 people got sick there alone. And it was the same story at Smithfield plants in Wisconsin and Missouri, where workers were denied protective equipment and disciplined for taking sick days during a pandemic. In May, The Guardian reported that nearly half of the hotspots in the US originated in meat factories like those, where maintaining 6 feet of distance from other people on the belt is nearly impossible. And after hearing all of this, you might think that Mitch McConnell cares more about taking care of corporate people than he does about taking care of actual people. And you might not be surprised to hear that of every single candidate for the House and Senate this year, he is the largest recipient of all PAC money. a distinction which includes also being the largest recipient of all business PAC money. Mitch McConnell Inc. never closed his doors to the wheelbarrows of cash corporations wanted to invest in keeping him in power this election cycle, and now they expect him to provide a return on their investment. Congress needs to stand up to Mitch McConnell and his corporate buddies and reject any attempts to force a corporate immunity provision into coronavirus relief legislation. People deserve to be safe and healthy, and we cannot let corporations off the hook when they violate that basic standard. And that's it for our 5th and final episode of COVID Corruption. Make sure to check out the previous episodes in the series, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with all of Indivisible's video in the future. Thanks everyone. I hope you all stay safe and healthy now and into the future.